But if there can be no arrangement, then we are at an impasse.
I'm afraid so. I can't compete with you physically, and you're no match for my brains.
You're that smart.
Let me put it this way. Have you ever heard of Plato, Aristotle, Socrates?
Yes?
Morons.
Really?
Welcome to Morons Mince Movies. I am your host, Moron Sam Munoz, and I'm here with my fellow morons, Uplester, Peñalosa, the second, and Akam, Clubfoot Arturo. Yes.
What?
Clubfoot. Well, it's Clubfoot. It's from House of the Dragon. He's the club. He's the guy. He's the strong lioness. I believe strong. He's the guy who has one foot.
Strong?
No, it's Linus, isn't it? Laris? Is it Laris? No, I don't know.
God damn it.
He's the guy who becomes the Lord of Whispers. Anyways, we're mincing House of the Dragon.
Oh, yeah. That's
So bad.
Yeah, I know who it is.
That's the worst intro ever.
No, it would have been great if you just allowed me to do the original.
Nope.
Original.
No,
The
okay.
original.
Why are we mincing today, you guys?
House of the Dragon.
House of the Dragon.
Season 2, episodes 1 through 4.
Yes.
To clarify, seasons 2, episode 1 through 4. And it is a lot to get through, so
And
let's
we
get
didn't
right
take
into
notes.
it.
Yeah.
Again.
Let's get right into it.
So it
because
picks up directly after the events of the first season.
Yeah.
Which ended like in 1998, I think, or 1999. It's been a few years.
It ended with Rhaenyra's boy getting massacred by the
how
dragon.
long ago
Yeah,
is what I'm
Luke-
trying to say.
within this context?
Luke
Within
was
in real
days.
time. Fucking 3 years ago. When did season 1 air?
Oh, yeah.
It
2 years
felt-
ago.
like 2 years ago, yeah.
It's
it
been
feels like
a
a
while.
long time.
It's only been 2 years.
Only been 2 years.
I'm tired of hearing this, dude. These are British TV shows. They take like always 2 years to come out.
This isn't. Is Game of Thrones on BBC?
It's British. It's made. It's British TV
It's not. What makes it British TV?
because it's
Arturo?
filmed and produced by the Brits.
What?
Yeah,
Yes.
they didn't even have to stop during the strike
Because
because
it's
they were in
British.
England. But anyways,
Oh shit.
Yes.
Oh.
House of the Dragon
Westeros.
season 2 begins after Aemon Targaryen has killed
Yes.
Luke Targaryen.
Not Skywalker.
Not on
Not
purpose.
Skywalker.
Not on purpose.
Lucerys.
I mean, it's
Lucerys,
impossible.
but they call him Luke, right? I believe.
Yeah.
I don't think they called him Luke.
I believe they do. They call him Luke.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure. Isn't
I
it
think
Luke?
it's
I never heard Luke.
Lucas.
I kept hearing
It's Lucas.
Lucas.
There we go.
I kept hearing Lucerys, man.
Okay, producer, can you please put up the goddamn
I asked you to
names?
put the fucking names up. I said this show is packed with names.
There you go.
I need to see. There you go.
This episode has started very
Oh
chaotic.
God.
Just like this show, though. It's a
Yeah.
perfect
Just like the
representation.
amount of floppy wieners that were in this show.
That's a
There were
South
no.
Park
There was
reference.
one, and it wasn't
way.
even.
There's
floppy.
a lot of floppy wieners.
No, there wasn't actually. Minimum 2. But
Minimum
okay,
One
it starts
too
off.
many.
If you remember at the end of season 1, as like just to fuck with him, what's his face?
Aemon.
Aemon. Again, I'm horrible with
He's
names.
the one with
so I
no
apo-
eye. He has an eye patch.
Eye patch is fucking with bastard son Lucerys with the dark hair, and his dragon decides to take it upon himself to kill Lucerys and his dragon, and that's where season 1 ends. And that's a huge fucking deal because these are two families, both kind of competing for the throne. One is considered an usurper.
Well, in addition, that's the biggest thing too. Is where this
Why?
all ended up. Yeah.
Why
So
is there confusion between these two
a
families?
big thing in season 1 is to go off of that is the heir up to the throne.
Yes.
We have
Yes.
our king and he is dying. He's the king.
Viserys.
But Viserys, thank you. But he only has a daughter. He doesn't have any boys
Rhaenyra.
just yet.
Yeah.
For the longest time, and even though he has a brother, he decides to give the
Throne.
heir to the throne.
Yeah,
the title
to his
of
daughter.
to his daughter Rhaenyra.
Which is a huge fucking deal.
Huge, 'cause it's never been done
People
before.
were like, no, you're not going to give it to the girl.
Well, in this world, women are not
Yeah,
allowed to be leaders.
So
Not
it was a
equal.
huge fucking deal, but then decades later, or like not even decades later, not too
Like a
long
floppy
after,
dick.
because
Yeah.
he gets remarried to Alicent.
and then
starts
with
birthing
Alicent,
boys.
he has his boys.
But we still see that he's still planning on leaving it to Rhaenyra, but but towards the end of his life, he's his mind's
he-
going away.
I think he actually leaves it to Rhaenyra. No,
He
Like,
still
he's-
So he thinks-
assigns her.
He's talking to her about the prince that was promised.
Yeah.
And then in his like last kind of lucid thoughts, like she leaves and Alicent shows up. He thinks he's still talking to Rhaenyra about Aegon.
That's
the
where the whole confusion
Conqueror.
happens.
And Alicent assumes he's talking about their firstborn son, Aegon, that he wants him to be king.
So,
So
okay, yeah.
we have this happening at the very end, and then now this thing's happening. So it sets off the war that we're getting introduced to in season 2.
So this is all season 1.
But
which
which a lot of the first episode of season 2
Directly-
is a lot of kind of catching up and and sort of reminding the audience of what has happened.
because it just happened too within their context.
Yeah. Within the context, no time has really passed between
days.
season
For us,
1
it's
and
been
2.
2 years. But
Yeah, for us it feels like a long time. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there is the first episode is a lot of kind of like setting up of what's been happening
Reminding
and what's
people.
going on, reminding
Yeah.
people, kind of reminding us about who Aegon the second now, who is the king, right? Who has this? He is the son of
Viserys.
Alicent Hightower
Yeah,
and
Viserys
Viserys,
and
because
Alicent,
Alicent ends up marrying Viserys and.
So that's what this whole shit is starting. Alicent is getting her pieces into play.
Yes.
Rhaenyra is taking her pieces into play. Not that great on one side. The Greens are, it looks like they have their shit figured
Alicent's
out.
team.
Alicent, sorry, they're referred to as the Greens.
Yes, that's fine. Yeah, the Greens. Yeah.
They seem to have their shit figured out. I mean, they're in Westeros and they have the capital.
King's
and
Landing.
They're in King's Landing and
So
then,
yeah. So in this first episode, you start getting how they're trying to get the other bannermen to
join them.
to join
yeah.
them, and so on.
Yeah.
So, but when Rhaenyra's camp, right, they're still sort of suffering and mourning the death of
She is.
Lucas Targaryen.
Yeah.
Lucerys. Also, I'm pretty sure they call him Luke. But anyways, so then that's when Daemon has the idea that he's gonna go and get revenge on the
Aemon.
Greens.
They're
A
tired of
son
waiting
for a
on-
son, which
Yeah.
is the name of the episode.
one.
Yeah.
And it looks like they're gonna target Aemond.
Yes, they're gonna try to target Aemon because Aemon was the one who killed Lucerys. And so he has this bright idea of going to the rat catcher, right? And this other
that's
guy
right.
from the city
castle? From the
city
border.
guard. They're
Border
what,
patrol.
What are they called
Border
again?
Patrol.
No, the city guard. What do they call it? The
King's
city
Guard.
watch. The city watch.
City Watch. Yeah.
City Watch.
Yeah. It's not the King's Guard. I don't think he's
that's just-
yeah.
yeah.
He's just a City Watch.
Yeah. And
I was thinking of Kristen Cole.
and he gives
no.
and he gives them the mission and pays them a good amount of money. He says, "I want you to go and kill Aemon Targaryen. He's the guy with the eye patch."
Yes.
And the rat catcher says something. Well, what do we
What
do?
if we don't find him?
What if we don't find him? Well, we don't get to hear what Daemon Targaryen
Daemon
tells
answers.
him. Yeah, so that's the big development that happens in this episode. Besides that, there's just a lot of setup, a
Yeah.
lot of like what Rhaenyra is sort
She's
of
been
going
up to.
through. She's mourning. She's trying to
She's
find the
mourning.
body of her
Yes.
son.
Yeah.
There's also a bit with
The council. The
the
council is
council-
very upset that Rhaenyra is gone. They're like, why isn't she here leading?
Yes.
We need to fucking move. We need to make some action.
And that's a recurrent theme too this season.
It's still,
Yeah.
yeah. It's the whole season is that the council is like, where the fuck is she? She's not here. And the aunt, Rhaenyra, no, the queen that never was, Rhaenys.
Yeah.
She's the one that's trying to keep the council in order. She's the one that speaks up for her fucking niece, and she's like, "Look, we had to just trust her. I'm sure that she's doing her best. She's in mourning. Let's just continue with business as usual." And the council's getting upset, and Daemon's getting upset. Daemon's like, "Fucking, we don't have time for this shit. We need to move. We need to fucking act."
Yes.
That's what kind of causes him to go out and try to find more people to back him.
In
Yeah.
addition, too, we also find out that Alicent has been having an affair with Kristen
Oh
Cole.
Yes,
one of her
yes.
knights, one of her guards.
Yeah, and that's very nice. That happens there. Let's get to. I want to get to
Yeah,
the main thing that happens in
Yes,
this episode, which is
they
the
can't-
shocking
yeah.
ending of
Oof.
the episode.
They don't find
So,
Aemond, but
yeah.
they find Jaehaerys,
Yes. So
which is Aegon and
And
Helena's
Helena
Twins.
is who is
She
the
has
wife.
twins. Yeah, it's her sister too, right?
It's his sister. Yeah.
Yeah, is the sister of
Yeah.
Aegon, she's married to, right? Because in the Targaryens, they're cool with brother
Yep.
and sisters.
Keep it in the family.
Yeah. So these guys go in there. They find Helena. They find the two sons. I mean, they're twins, but one's a girl, one's a
Fraternal
a
twins,
boy,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And they basically just tell Helena which one's the boy. Point to us which one's the boy, because I guess what you don't really get to hear what Daemon said, but I guess Daemon just kind of told them, well, if you don't find Aemon,
A son for a
then
son.
just take a son for a son,
That's
right?
what he said. A son
Yeah.
for a son.
Yeah.
They killed our son. You killed one of their sons.
It's left open for interpretation.
Yeah, well, you don't really get to hear what
Exactly,
but it seemed like he might have said something
don't
like
know.
that. Yeah.
But that's how
Anyways,
it ends.
Yeah,
the rat
well,
catcher says it. A son for a son.
Yeah, he does. Well, they tell him, they threaten Helena to that she needs to point out
Michelle Cole's
who the boy
Imagine
is.
that. Talk about Sophie's choice.
Yeah, that was a Sophie's
Dang.
choice. And Helena's not all there, by the way.
Yeah, she's. I mean,
They kind of from the beginning of the season, they kind of sort of.
Hinted
show-
at.
She's also
hinted.
aware of things beyond our world.
Is
She's
she-
talking about the rats at the beginning of the episode and what happens with the rat catchers.
Oh yeah, I mean, but is
This
she
isn't
having
the first
any
time
sort
she
of-
predicts shit. It's happened in the show.
Yeah. That's
right.
very
Yeah.
subtle. Fuck, you gotta be on it for that one.
I'll try.
Anyways, so she has to point out who they're gonna kill. She points at one of the babies, and at first, the one of the guys think that she's lying.
The City
and-
Watch guy is
yeah.
like, she's lying. She would never point out her son to.
Yeah.
Just to
But the
continue
rat
the
catcher
air.
just looks at her face and kind of reads her and be like, no, she's telling the truth.
Yep.
And then they don't show what happens, which was really
I'm
good.
so glad they didn't.
That they
Jesus.
stay on
But you
Helena.
hear it.
They stay on Helena, and she's just like almost in shock.
Watching.
She kind of blurts out, no, and then just decides, I'm going to get the other baby and start running out of
bounce.
here. And as she's running out, you see the two guys, and you just kind of hear some cutting noises and everything.
Gurgling. There's
Yeah.
a gurgling.
And when I was watching this, I watched it with my wife, and my God, my wife was just like,
Yeah.
she was like so horrified by what was
Yeah.
happening. And I was just like, oh man, damn, this is some fucked up shit.
Yeah.
And they follow Helena, and she goes into Allison.
It takes a minute. She's
Yeah.
walking through all that fucking floor.
So
Yeah.
she was
And
just
there's no
traumatized
guards.
at this, seeing, her son
Yeah.
get killed. And then she walks in on her mom having sex with Kristen Cole,
Yes.
getting re-traumatized
Yep.
back to back.
Yep.
I think she was just didn't even fucking care that was happening.
That didn't even.
she was
yeah,
so
yeah, she
far.
was just like
lost her baby.
they
She's
killed
still
the,
gonna get re-traumatized.
They killed the boy. They killed
Yeah.
the boy.
She walked in and she said they killed the boy.
And then that's how it ends.
Yep.
Yes. What a awesome first episode, by the way.
It was.
I was
Oof.
hooked from the beginning. I have to say, before we move on to the next episode, some general thoughts on this season so far. Fucking fantastic.
Yes.
I have.
Yes.
I have
Absolutely,
loved it.
man.
I thought the first season was a return to form for this Game of Thrones franchise,
Yes.
and I was hoping they would continue. And I think they just outdone themselves.
I think they learned from their mistakes.
Yeah, they have really gone full on with we're just going to talk about all the different families and the politics that's going on, and you better follow us or
Yup.
stay behind. Because later on in the first episode, you get a lot of talk about the family, and they're talking about who they want to get. We need to get the Riverlands
the
on our
Tullys.
side, the Tullys
Harrenhal.
and the Blackwoods and the Brackens and
Yeah.
all these different
Yeah.
families.
There's a lot of talk about families and
Yeah.
quarrels.
And I love that stuff. I know some people get turned off by it, but I loved it. My wife was one who was just saying, when they start talking about all these names, I just get lost.
Keep up.
And so
You gotta keep up.
throughout the show, I'm just telling her oh, that's blah blah blah, and this is blah blah blah, and this is so yeah. I really enjoyed all that, and they haven't shied away from all that, which is good, and they still have these shocking fucking moments like this. Which is just, man, on the first episode, my God.
They don't hold back, man. They don't hold back. I
Yeah.
think they know that they have 10 episodes and there's enough material from the books and from the other TV shows to just fucking easily make 10 episodes that are fucking bangers, all of them.
Agreed. Yeah. And episode 2
Yeah.
is dealing with the ramifications of what just happened in episode 1. Like we're seeing the death of the baby and how that's impacting everyone. You have Kristen Cole over here who's blaming himself because he knows he should have been at guard. But what was he doing?
He was fucking his wife. I mean,
And the queen.
His queen.
and his
princess,
queen.
yeah.
And I fucked your wife.
So then that also leads into this whole thing where he basically instigates the shit out of Eric, who is the twin brother of Eric.
Yes.
Spelled differently.
Yep.
Who is with the blacks, and they're over here with the greens.
These are season 1 twin brothers who split up.
They split up, yes.
One vowed to Rhaenyra, and the other one vowed to Aegon. Targaryen the second. Aegon, yeah. So anyway.
Yeah, so then that leads one of the biggest plots too, because now he's telling him to go in and pretend to be him, and then that leads into some other shit.
Yeah.
And we also have the funeral or the procession.
Oh man, that was fucked up.
Tough. They convince Helena. They say, you know what? This is a perfect opportunity
To gain sympathy for the
support.
people. Yeah.
We go out there and we show all of our people what horrible things Rhaenyra is doing.
Yes.
And that gains us sympathy and that gains us followers. And she's like, I don't know if I want to do that. And they're like, yeah, you do. And she's like, all right, I guess.
And that's good. This is a good also jumping point to talk about what's going on with Aegon and how Aegon. So Otto Hightower is back as being the hand, right? And him and Alicent are basically controlling they're ruling the realm, right? And Aegon is sort of this young, king. He wants to put his part in it, but Otto and Alicent are basically overruling him at all times, and this is just another moment where they're sort of taking control and trying to make the sort of the best of a tragedy of what's going on. How can they turn that into their favor? Right? Because if the realm sees what evil, as you said, that the Rhaenyra and their clan have done, they can bring more of the people to go on their side.
And it works
for a while.
And it works.
Up until Aegon decides to, because that's the thing too. Like he's desperate to make decisions.
He's
to
mad.
make it look.
He
like
wants to put his stamp on things.
Exactly. So when they find out that yes, it was a rat catcher and he had an accomplice, what does he do? He hangs all the rat catchers for everyone to see.
Yep.
Completely losing faith, like having the people lose faith in them, and Otto Hightower is fucking pissed. And he's like, "You fucking idiot, you petulant child!" And then Kristen Cole's like, "This is your king. He's my fucking grandson. Like, fuck this shit. He's an idiot." And he gets fired.
He gets fired as the hand. His own grandfather. It's Alicent. Is that right? Otto Hightower.
Yeah.
His own grandfather. He fires him as the hand. Because
and hires
of that.
on Kristen Cole because he had a plan with Initiative.
Yeah, which was sending the twin to go in there and try to kill Rhaenyra. Basically, go be and act as your twin brother. And kill him.
And then on the other side, they start finding out, hey, dude, someone fucking killed one of the twins.
Yes.
And they think it's you. And Rhaenyra's like, why the fuck would I do that?
Yeah.
I'm not going to fucking do that. I just lost my own son.
Yeah.
They tell them it's not true, and they're like, it doesn't really matter what you tell them. They already believe it's you.
Yeah.
So we need to start preparing for this shit right now. We need to do a response for that shit. Yeah, it's about to fucking go down.
And the way Rhaenys looked at Daemon.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Ooh, she's like, I didn't call this murder. We didn't call this murder, right, Daemon? And Daemon's like, oh, fuck, what time is it? I think I left the stove on. I got to bounce real quick.
That's exactly what happens.
Turns out, no. Yeah, it was
Turns
him.
out he didn't have the stove on.
Yeah, no, it was Daemon.
Which leads to a very good dramatic scene between Rhaenyra and Daemon and them. They're back and forth. And Rhaenyra's sort of lack of trust for Daemon. And
after this,
sort of calls back to Viserys and his lack of trust for his brother, right? I mean, like he's
same
just...
reason why he wasn't picked.
He acts on impulse. He doesn't really think about
and it's
things.
It's a shame because he doesn't always have terrible intentions, but it keeps...
He just doesn't think about shit.
And it's having these terrible repercussions every single time.
And so they have this fight, and Daemon just again decides to go off, and he says, "I'm gonna go to Harrenhal, and I'm gonna try to start getting some of these rivermen on our side." Yeah,
I'll get some guys.
So that leaves Daemon out of this, and episode 2 ends with Eric the twin getting to Dragonstone.
Yes.
Yeah, but before that, there is another thing. The girl whose name escapes me, the one who was a prostitute in the first season.
Oh yeah.
And then she became like sort of this gossip girl, getting.
She was Damon's girl for a while.
Yeah.
So I know who you're talking about.
She shows up in this episode as well, and I think that's how Damon finds out about the rat catchers and how to get the rat catchers and that idea.
That's right.
So,
she gets locked up, and Damon goes to visit her in jail.
Viseria.
Thank you,
Damon goes to visit her in jail.
I wish our producer would. Producer used to be so good at this.
Right here, you stupid cunt.
That's not
right there, bottom corner,
that's a
right
chart
here.
of the dragons.
Oh yeah, there it is.
Oh,
Yeah,
others.
thank you.
Boom in your face, Sam.
I was still
Hey,
faster.
I would. Yeah, he was faster.
I've never watched the show.
Well, you better fucking. I don't care.
So yes.
Anyway, she gets arrested early on in episode 2. Damon goes to visit her. Damon goes to visit her, and that's how he finds out about the rat catcher and how they can get to her.
Yes. And so he promises to her freedom because she's a prisoner at this point, if it's for that kind of information. Yeah. So we fast forward a little bit. Rhaenyra decides to honor that word that Damon gave to her, frees her as she's leaving. She's the one who catches that the twin is coming in because she had been just talking to the other twin and notices that, hey, wait a minute, he was in the castle. Yep. How is he coming, back from the beach door, now? Yeah.
And that plays into the next episode.
Oh, no. Well, then there's the fight. Don't forget.
Oh, I mean, her. She does. Like
Well, she ends up coming back to try to warn them. That's how, because the twin ends up infiltrating.
Oh, and
successfully.
did you guys lose track of who was who? Because I did. During the fight?
I didn't. Oh, during the fight, yes. During the fight, yes.
Of course.
Yeah, during the fight.
I feel like everyone's chaos and confusion was ours. Like we were in there with him. Like, oh fuck, I don't know who's who.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah,
I'm seeing double. 4 Erics.
How drunk were you?
Yeah, so he manages to infiltrate. He actually gets in the room with Rhaenyra, is about to basically murder Rhaenyra when the other twin comes in, having been warned by Miss Saria, whatever her name is. And then the fight happens, and yes, it is a very good fight, very
well choreographed,
well choreographed, thrilling, suspenseful. You do lose track of who is who. So when one of them ends up getting killed, right? You're just like,
Eric.
oh shit, who's the one that survived? Yep. And
Eric.
They're both named Eric.
They're both.
I'm not wrong.
You're not. Yeah.
So you find out sort of quickly who's the one that survived, which is the one that was sent there to kill Rhaenyra. And somehow, this is what I would like to get your opinion on. He somehow changes his mind and ends up murdering himself. Ends up, killing himself.
It was Eric that was on Team Rhaenyra.
Are you sure?
Yeah, because he said he felt like he failed her. Like that's why he takes his life.
No, I think
that's how I took it.
No, I thought it was the other one, and he just.
And that's why when Rhaenyra decides to bury them together, she doesn't just throw off the other brother. Like she gives her knight a proper burial and decides to allow him to be buried with his.
See, I took it differently. This is good because I wanted to know what you guys thought of. I took it differently as the fight is happening.
Oh, let's Google it.
As the fight is happening, there is this sort of moment where these two are fighting, but they're kind of saying, "I love you, brother." I believe like they kind of start bonding in this fight as it's happening.
I mean, even in season 1, they were kind of introduced as like these
they're
this is our purpose. This is all we know. It's fighting and protecting.
They're sort of regretting that they have to fight. They kind of don't want to, but they're doing it because they're sort of forced by their duty and honor and so on.
I think that's
oh, you're right. Yeah.
What I felt.
So it's Eric Eric with an E. Okay. Who goes in to attack Rhaenyra, attacks his brother, ends up killing his brother, and then commits suicide.
Right.
Because he felt terrible for his actions.
Yeah. So I think during the fight, he switches and ends up killing himself because he feels he's done a horrible thing by killing his brother.
That's what causes Rhaenyra to be like, "No, I feel bad. So we should bury both of them. Let's bury both of them."
Thank you,
together.
producer. Our producer is back on it.
Go back real quick. Zoom back in. So I just thought that was I don't know. So we're so used to seeing people like Kristen Cole in our medieval shows, But like how I feel authentic the Erics actually look to the era make Kristen Cole look so much more like modern. Does that make any sense?
Nope. Yeah, no, I agree.
Like, yeah, like without, like, yeah, it's like, oh yeah, he's totally medieval, and then you see these guys, and you go, oh wait, no, this guy's totally what are the Hollywood version. I don't know.
Well, Kristen Cole is a hunk.
And
he's a hunk of a man,
and we find out he's also from Dorne, and that explains
why he's so hunky
on the outsider, and he's a little ethnic looking.
I like those callbacks to those different occasions.
Right? Yeah,
very very hunky.
Yeah.
All right, episode 3. Yeah, we are running through this. Good.
Yes, it's doing great. So episode 3, it's funny because I'm just like I meant to take notes, but I've just been referencing TV Time, which is a wonderful app that helps you keep track of your shows.
Perfect. Yeah, and they're not sponsoring us,
but you should use it.
If you use code WORK MMM, you can get 0% off on your next subscription.
You will get an error message
to whatever. What the fuck is the name of this app?
TV Time.
TV Time, where your time is on TV.
Make sure you use promo code MMM.
MMM for 0% off
to get an error code, redirecting you back to the homepage.
So
it'll really help us out a lot.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
Offer.
So there's a lot happening on this episode now in terms of we see Daemon. He's arrived at Harrenhal, which is a tradition from the last episode.
Yes.
So he's there. He's like, I'm gonna take this this castle by storm.
Yeah.
And he does because there's no one guarding it.
They basically give it to him.
You know the history of Harrenhal?
Yeah.
It's a cursed castle. When Aegon the Conqueror, the first Aegon came, there was a lord there. Harren the Black, I believe. I don't remember his name.
Yeah.
It was Harren something. But anyways, there was a lord, and he decided that he was just gonna like face the dragons, and that nobody could, break through this castle. But Aegon came and basically like melted the rock and just destroyed this castle, and it's been left in sort of ruin ever since, and it's been passed on to people who they kind of like the kings don't really care about. Like there's like, oh, just give them Harrenhal or whatever. That's kind of like how it goes because it's like the cursed castle, and every lord that gets it ends up dying somehow in some fucked up way.
And it's like the Iron Net. It's supposed to be like this big stronghold because it is. It's supposed to have
It was.
Yeah. And it was just so easy to conquer. And then not only that, because of this curse that we're talking about, Daemon starts having these hallucinations.
Yes.
And really fucking him up.
Did you know that's because the bed he was sleeping in was made from a dead, not dead, but from one of those trees. So in original Game of Thrones,
God's will?
Starks, Starks, you know that tree that they show with the red leaves and it's crying? That was a tree.
I heard this too. Or is that in the episode? I can't remember.
No.
Elsewhere?
I remember. I know they don't say it, but I remember reading this in one of the forums where in this place, the trees that are sacred to the Tullys were chopped down in order to make way for the castle. That's why it's cursed. That's why people that sleep there have these hallucinations, have these dream sequences, is because the bed, the furniture, the ground you're resting on used to be these sacred trees that were cut down in order to make way for this castle. And that's what leads to Daemon having these fucking far out hallucinations while he's sleeping.
And who does he see? A young Rhaenyra.
Once again, her back.
Played by Billy Alcock. Yeah.
She came
back. I thought that was
man.
really clever way
awesome.
to bring her back. I remember
and she's sewing
the head of the twin.
Oh my god.
Fuck, that shit scared the shit. I was like, nope, I'm going to pause it. I'm going to go get up, walk the dog. I needed a break.
Great.
No, that was so well done, man.
Yeah.
And like in behind the scenes, like I know there was always like a lot of talk like, oh, we're going to get to see the younger actresses come back, because they did really well. And then the older actresses are also fucking awesome. They all have been. So I thought this was a really clever way to bring that character back.
Yeah.
I mean, that version of the character.
Yeah. No, they did a great job bringing her back.
How much we're going to see of her this season, we have yet to find out. But
Daemon wakes up from those bad dreams.
Yes.
And he goes back to the council, or quote-unquote council. And he's like, what the fuck do you guys have to offer? Where are your soldiers? Surely you have... And the people are like, no, dude, I don't know what you
council,
thought.
It's the Lord of the...
just the Lord. They're like, I don't know what you thought you were walking into, but we're fucking depleted. Most of our people are like out and about doing their own shit. We don't have a lot of... good luck with us.
Like no one, because also like their liege lord is like weak and he's old, and no
one of them
cares.
isn't one of them part of the council.
No.
And that's why? No.
There's a
I'm thinking of
connection,
something else. Okay.
So and that's the thing too that I didn't really realize the first time watching it, but once I read like on TV Time actually, someone pointed
There
it
you
out.
go.
TV
So
Time.
we find out that like no one really is paying attention to the liege lord, and doing kind of their own thing. And then Daemon says everyone should obey their liege lord regardless of the condition. And it just sounds at first like he's just making a thing like, no, yeah, you still need to bow down, this and that, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But he's thinking about his brother. And in the conditions he got like later in life, like no, he still deserves your respect.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Fuck, man, that's that."
There were some good moments with that. Yeah,
definitely.
There were some good moments with that.
So he's at Harrenhal, but who else do we have heading towards these other areas, and also Harrenhal as well?
Riverlands.
Christian Cole,
and Alicent's brother.
Yes.
So back in King's Landing, Kristen Cole has decided we're going to. Kristen Cole and Aemon Targaryen have kind of. Come together and started to they started to plan out their attack because Aegon's sort of this young, weak, idiotic of a person, and
he's a fool.
Yeah, he's kind of a fool. Yeah. And there's a whole scene where he gets drunk and he goes to a brothel and he finds
into his brother.
He runs into Aemon and sort of embarrasses him. And I think this is where Aemon decides to come up with this idea and I basically fuck my brother. I'm gonna take over this shit. And that's also where you see all the floppy wieners. But
there's a few.
And there was one that was not floppy. By the way, there's a scene in here.
I know which one you're talking about. We
I was like,
go into detail.
Whoa!
Yeah, same.
Things happen at the brothel.
That I have never seen in a TV
on
show.
TV. Yep. I agree with you. Me and my wife had the exact same reaction.
Yes.
Viewers, if you're interested in what that scene was,
go
ahead and watch episode 4.
You're going to say sign up for
episode
our Patreon.
3. Sign up to our Patreon.
And if you type in MMM, you will get that clip specifically for you.
An error clip. You will get an error message. But yeah, there's a scene where they walk into that brothel and there's a lot going on. They embarrass
Aemon.
There you go.
Because he's with the one woman
who lost his
his virginity too, and that's the only person that he finds comfort in.
Mm-hmm. Poor guy.
And it's sort of in a moment of weakness, and his brother comes in with all these other guys. Some of them are part of the King's Guard, and they're making fun of him, and he's just like super pissed, and that he's been sort of seeing this weak moment, and that's really what influences him to do everything that's happening here in episode 3. Yeah. There's a whole scene where they're back in the council, and Aemon just takes over the meeting and says, "We're gonna do this, we're gonna do that."
I've been talking to Christian Cole, and he's like, the Kings are like, "You've been talking
to
him
doing
without
behind
me."
my back." Yes.
Oh shit!
And then one of the most badass sequences ever, we have Aemon now speaking High Valyrian.
Yes.
Yeah.
To his brother.
He tells his brother.
Oh, and it's this huge power play move. And he's telling him basically see what's happening here, this and that, and it's
perfect Valyrian. And then he responds with his macho broken
make
my war. More war make me happy.
Aegon realizes how just not at his caliber he is at. Aemon is just like this outperforming him in every sense. He's failing as a king and as a Targaryen.
But see, in his defense, and this is where I want to come in, this poor fucking guy never had any actual training on what it meant to be king, the workings of your council and sending a message and how do you get shit done. They never thought that he was gonna be up for the throne. The plan was never that. Like, Viserys was never like, this is going to be the next king, guys, so let's make sure they just raised him and just fucking off to the side.
He wasn't supposed to be king.
Right. Yeah. It wasn't until that confusion that he was now thrown into this. So all of his missteps as king,
you kind of see
find myself
the people failing him
also,
around him.
If you remember in the first season, he's also kind of a brat. He was kind of a spoiled kid.
No, he was. He was a bitch.
Yeah, so it's also falls on him that he never, because his Aemon, his brother,
he's a trained warrior.
Yeah, he was always trying.
Clearly,
he was always taking everything serious and everything like that. While Aegon just wanted to get drunk and go to the brothel and everything like that.
Yep.
So then Kristen Cole plus Alicent's brother, they lead an army
to the Riverlands. Finds them. on her dragon, Bela.
Because of her brother. Alicent's brothers are like, dude, I don't like this whole fucking wilderness shit. I'm gonna go find a hotel. Wilderness. I don't like this whole wilderness thing. I'm gonna go find a hotel. And Kristen Cole's like, no, you can't fucking do that. We're marching. We can't let them know. And he's like, we'll be fine. Right as he's saying that, fucking dragon shows up. And they're like, fucking dragon, we need to hide. Barely they fucking make it. And that shit was anxiety for me. Because I was like, oh, this is it. They're going to fucking burn.
I was like, go, go, go. Oh, fuck.
She wasn't supposed to engage. She was just supposed to observe and scout and report back.
But they shot at her, right?
I don't remember if they shoot at her. I don't think they. I think they just kind of run away. Yeah.
Into the trees.
And they hide in the trees, and then she leaves and reports back to Rhaenyra.
Alicent's brothers are like, maybe I had this all wrong, Christian Cole. Maybe you are pretty cool.
I do not remember that piece of dialogue.
You said that. You said that.
So in the Riverlands, there's already war breaking out because there's an age-old rivalry between the Blackwoods and the Brackens.
It opened with that, huh?
It opens with that. Yeah, so they're already battling each other.
And it felt very Springfield and Shelbyville.
What?
Wow!
Out of all the fucking things.
Wow! Yes, it did. I hadn't fucking thought about that. So I'm gonna need a moment, man. That shit was beautiful.
It was the first thing I thought of.
Shelbyville,
it really is. Neighboring towns with this age-old rivalry.
They don't even know why. Their rivalry.
But they just fucking hate each other. Yep.
Fuck, man.
That is a rivalry that goes back decades upon decades.
And we don't even get to see them fight, which is kind of like this. It painted this terrible picture of like fucking like the effects this is having on the small folk. Yeah. And I love that we've been seeing that this season is really the impact that this war, this fight for the throne is taking on the economy and the people, and how it's really affecting the small folk. Like I just said, and it really paints a much broader picture of that.
So so Cole and his army, they're trying to take advantage of that, and so to start taking strongholds in the Riverlands and so on. And they decide to go after one of the weaker ones, which I can't remember the goddamn name of Rock something.
Oh, Rook.
What is
something Rook?
Red Rook.
Well, that happens in episode 4.
Yeah. I'm jumping ahead a little bit because is there anything else?
Yes, it's fucking huge. So Mysaria that we were talking about earlier, her big role in this is because Rhaenyra wants to find a way to still somehow do this peacefully.
Oh, yes,
she wants to avoid war. And what is her great idea? Have Mysaria tell her how to sneak into King's Landing.
And
she wants to talk to Alicent.
Yes,
we know that they've been trying. She's been sending ravens. There hasn't been communication. Alicent hasn't been opening them, but she wants to reach out to her directly.
Yeah.
And they figure out a way. She goes incognito to make her look like a nun because Alicent still goes to church. When she was in the outfit, I have expected her to say shame. Same outfit.
Shame.
So we end up at the church, and she ends up right next to her, and she takes out a fucking knife
right away. Alicent, right? Yeah. Alicent, as soon as she sees, she's like, "Fucking kill." Yeah.
No. It was
Rhaenyra.
Like stay here, or I can stab you. I can stab you.
Rhaenyra took out the.
I misread that entire scene.
Stay here so we can talk.
Yeah.
And they're having this discussion of them just trying to avoid war and what they can do. And she's like, no, like Aegon's this and that, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And then during this conversation, we, as the audience, we already knew. But then now between their conversation, she's like, no, he changed his mind. She's like, there's no way my dad would have changed his mind. He did. He told me this. And in that moment, Rhaenyra has this split second of like, fuck, maybe he did. And then, the emotions start coming in. And then that's when she says, the prince that was promised. She's like, wait, what the fuck? You mean the age-old story that he's been telling me since fucking forever? And in that moment, Alicent knows she's fucking
realizes,
wrong.
Yes.
But it's too late. It's too late.
Yeah, she doesn't. She can't really take it back, and honestly, she can't because
too much has happened.
The dominoes have fallen.
The pieces are in play. Yeah.
You cannot take it back. There's nothing to do.
Yes, that was fucking beautiful. The way it happened, the way she found out, the way it was shared,
the way it was acted,
nonchalantly, like
everything.
he called him this, and for Rhaenyra to be like, wait a minute, no, he would never have told
Aegon,
you that.
The Conqueror.
Yeah, he would never have told you that because that was a story that he only shared with me, and then that's when it fucking happened. Like, oh fuck, yeah, that fucking beautiful. And then she walks away and she's like, "You got
that's where the episode ends.
You better fucking bounce. You better bounce because my security is gonna be alerted." And she bounces, and then that's where episode 3 ends. And then we get to episode 4.
Yes.
Woo!
We're fucking making it, you guys.
Yeah.
We're
man,
doing
we got,
all right. Yeah, it's
we got
perfect.
15 minutes.
And so this is where we concentrate
Shit
on
hits the
Cole.
fan.
Yeah, Cole and his army and their attack on this stronghold. Which again, what is it called?
Something
God damn.
Rook. I remember
Rook.
our
Producer,
Rook,
producer,
Rook,
episode
Rook.
just put episode 4
My phone
attack
died.
on, and I'm sure
No.
you'll get something. We'll cut this part off, or we can just keep talking. And
I'm gonna put my money on
attack.
Tustin.
No, it's like
Tustin
Red
Rook.
battle at Rook's Rest.
Rook's Rest.
I fucking knew there was a
Rook's
Rook.
Rest. Yes.
Rook's
So-
Rest.
No, we're gonna cut that. So Cole and
You're
his
welcome.
army.
You're welcome.
Cole and his
Rook's
army.
Rest. Yes.
Oh yeah, thank you, Arturo. So Cole and his army, they're attacking. They decide to attack this stronghold, Rook's Rest.
Did you come up with your head?
All by myself.
No, me.
No,
Good
no,
memory,
no.
Sam.
And so the Targaryens, they're seeing this, and the blacks, not the, because you gotta distinguish the two, right?
Yes.
And they see like, oh, well, why is he attacking Rook's Rest? That's a weak
castle.
stronghold, weak castle, and so on. And they are thinking, well, we need to send someone to help out, to help them out, right? And Rhaenyra says, well, I will go. But then, her son is like, no, send me. I will take a dragon and go and defend. But then
She can't lose another son.
yeah, she can't lose another son, so Rhaenyra's like, no, I'm gonna do it. But then everybody's sort of like, no, the queen can't put herself at risk.
So it falls to Rhaenys.
So it falls to Rhaenys, and she volunteers.
Queen that never was.
The queen that never was. She
I really
volunteers.
liked her throughout this whole season. Man.
Yeah, she
She
was
was
great.
great.
Yeah,
She stepped it up. I really enjoyed her.
We kind of like skipped over her, but there's a lot
did.
going on between
Yeah.
her and her husband.
Yeah.
And sort of
Yes.
And the
the
discovery
support.
of her bastard. His bastard.
Yeah, that's right. His
saved
bad
his life.
Alan,
Yeah.
I believe.
Yeah, Alan.
Alan or Aaron?
Alan with a Y.
Alan. Okay, yeah, Alan. Yes, and so throughout the second season, you also see how much she supports him, her husband.
And they had like the
She really
best,
does.
the healthiest relationship,
Yeah.
I think, of the
Of all
entire
these
show.
people? Oh, for
Easily.
sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I
sure.
guess until she finds out that he's been banging around
well, it
and
looks
has
like that was a
illegitimate
thing
children.
in Game of Thrones world.
Yeah.
It happened a lot at war, from my understanding.
I get. Yeah, it's true.
So
Yeah.
we've seen a few scenes of her talking with her husband and trying to calm the council. Like throughout this whole season, she's been present. We haven't talked about it much, but she has definitely been present.
She's been challenging Daemon.
trying to keep the council in order.
Yeah.
reminding
She's been a
them
leader.
that the queen is still the queen, and let's hope we're all doing the right thing. So when she goes to her husband and tells him, like, they're asking me to go out to this battle, I'm gonna do it. He's concerned, rightfully so. But she still decides to go, and that's where shit gets fucking crazy at this battle. At Rook's Hold.
Yeah.
What was it? Rook's Rest.
Rook's Rest.
Oh, so close. So close.
So, unbeknownst to us, the audience, right? There's a whole plan in place here.
Yes.
That has been going. That has been planned by Aemon and Kristen Cole. But back in King's Landing, Aegon is feeling very
Left out.
Yes, perfect phrase. And
feeling some FOMO, if you will.
Yeah, and Mr. Clubfoot, whose first name I still can't remember. I believe it's like Larry's or
Maester of
Lor-
Whispers.
Larys is the last
Larys.
name. Yeah, his brother
no,
was...
Strong is his last name.
Oh, Larys Strong, yes.
Yeah,
and that's
there
what
you go.
it's Larys Strong.
There you go, Larys Strong, Larys Clubfoot Strong, and he's been sort of like the
Right there. Yep.
Yeah. There you go.
Right
Thank you, producer. Thank you. So he's been sort of like the little finger of this of this show.
He made his way.
He's been been kind of working in the shadows,
Master of Whispers.
manipulating Allison and back in the first season a bit.
Very cunning.
He was actually responsible for the death of what I think it was his brother who was banging Allison, who was he was the father of the sons, the sons who everybody thought were they must be bastard sons. So he's been doing all this sort of like manipulating in the background, and now he starts manipulating Aegon, and sharing his secrets and everything, and what what's going on behind his back. And Aegon's like, you have been a loyal servant. I want to make you the master of whispers. And he's like, oh, you honor me, and so on. But in this final conversation that he has with Clubfoot, that's where he sort of gives him this like, hey, you need to be a king, and you're the one who should be out there, and so on and so on. And that's where Aegon gets his bright idea to put on his armor and get his little dragon,
go out there and fight,
and go out there and join the battle.
Yes, and just before that, we accidentally mistook it for episode 3, but the conversation Aemond and TV Time is telling me. Thank you, TV Time.
Yes, please subscribe. Use our code MMM.
The conversation Aemond and Aegon have Valerian happens in this episode.
Oh,
really?
Yeah,
that makes
I
sense.
thought that happened in episode 3.
All the comments are here. Episode 4.
Okay.
So that's a deeper knife into into this and the cause for him drunkenly going out and be like, fuck it, I'm gonna go.
Yeah.
Yes.
And he arrives.
Leroy Jenkins. That's what he did, basically.
What?
You've never seen Leroy Jenkins?
No, what is that from?
You're fucking bullshitting me.
What is that from?
It's a very popular early YouTube video. You'll have to just watch it after this.
I also did not know what that reference.
Oh, you guys are fucking young. Come on,
no one was
man.
laughing, so he knows.
You're a
It's more of a
cultured
YouTube
man.
thing.
Thank you.
That's been
Damn.
Anyway,
Zoomers.
he rushes. He gets in.
he gets over there. Kristen
He
Cole's
wants to
like,
rise.
fuck, this guy's fucking up the plans. But he's like, oh, look, Bannerman, your king is here. Let's all get behind him.
He does
Because
a really
the
good
plan-
job spinning it.
We
the
see
plan was
Vhagar.
always to lure, hopefully Rhaenyra or into the battle.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because they were at the
Because Aemon and Vhagar are fucking chilling, and Vhagar again is the fucking big ass fucking dragon,
The biggest one.
that belonged to Daemon's first wife, Lena, and that's why it's such a badass dragon.
Yeah, he's an old dragon, and he goes
She, I
back.
Things did not
it's
go
a
as
she.
planned.
I don't know if it's a she or he. I'm not sure.
Yeah, things did not go as planned.
Yes.
They're waiting. The plan is going well, and then fucking Kristen Cole.
She
is the
dragon
first
of
one.
House Targaryen.
Kristen Cole is the first one to notice. Holy shit, our king is here. What the fuck is happening? And he tries to change the plan, and his brother,
Aemond. We've been saying his name this whole episode.
I haven't been listening. So he's hiding in the trees, waiting for his cue. He sees his own brother fly over him, and you would think any responsible brother would be like, fuck, my younger brother is fucking up the plan. Change the plans. Let me go up there and
it's
fucking
his older
interfere.
brother.
His older brother. Let me go up there and fucking step in and save. He sits quiet. I like that he's like, let's see how this plays
he's
out.
Fucking smart, yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Let's see how this plays out.
he also doesn't give a shit that his brother
if
gets
anything,
hurt
he's
or
probably happy
And
with that.
we'll get to that too. Yeah.
Because
But I mean,
Sorry.
before this, we're now having Rhaenys and her dragon is there. It's fighting now.
There's a battle going
on. It's a
on.
huge battle that's happening, completely wrecking Aegon's dragon.
Yep.
And we think, holy shit, this is fuck. And it was crazy to see because this episode really actually also fleshed out the dragons. We got to see a lot of their personality. I'm forgetting some of their names at the top of my head, but I believe it was Sky Crusher. Which was Aegon's
Crusher.
dragon.
Oh,
And
thank you, producer. Look at that.
thank
There
you.
it is.
There you go. Vermithor, Sea Smoke, Valerian,
Sunfire. What did I say?
Sunfire. You said Sun Crasher.
Suncrasher. Oh, yeah, Sunfire.
Miguel, Vermax.
So Sunfire.
Oh, yeah, Miguel the dragon is great.
With Aegon. And then we
everyone's
see
yard.
war with the dragons, and they're clawing at each other, and
Yeah,
they're shooting fire, they're biting each other, and like seeing how like
Dragon on dragon.
really
crime.
attached to their owners they were in this, like they're like puppies, man, gigantic
puppies.
They really are, man. Because just like
monstrous puppies.
just like with the death of what's his face, you can't really control your puppy. You know, you can take him out on a leash, and you can try and control him. But at the very end, they see a toy, they're gonna go for it. They're gonna bite for it, and that's exactly what these dragons are.
While Rhaenyra and Aegon are fighting, Rhaenyra is winning. Aegon looks like Aegon's dragon looks like it's about to die.
Yeah. And then he's falling. He's falling too.
Yeah. Well, they're still sort of battling because what happens is Aemon and Vhagar. They come and the Aemon says, Dracarys, and the fire comes and he doesn't even care that his brother is there. Hits both of them.
That's right. Yeah.
And basically burns fucking poor Aegon to a crisp there.
Right now, we don't know if he did it on purpose.
Yeah, I think he did it on purpose. He doesn't. He didn't give a shit.
I think so too.
Yeah,
had to have.
Aegon and his
Especially
dragon.
after he goes humiliated by him.
Yeah, Aegon and his dragon fall down to their semen. Oh my god.
Whoa. That's a different episode, man.
What seems to be their death.
There seems to be their death.
There you go.
That's what I wanted to say.
That was a Freudian slip over there.
Yeah.
It's all those floppy wieners.
Nice.
And some not so floppy.
Oh, God.
So they fall. And then Rhaenyra and Aemon, they go on and they start fighting each other. And that goes on for a little while. It's not like
it's not immediate.
Yeah. They it's an initial confrontation. It sort of looks kind of even at first, and Rhaenyra's trying to Rhaenys, I'm sorry, is trying to sort of get out of trying to sort of escape a little bit, but Vhagar does like a weird sort of like a flank of some sort.
Yeah, they're able to get away. They're driving through, and then all of a sudden, like, just fucking comes up from under.
Yeah, and gets her pretty bad, and poor Rhaenys. He kills her dragon, and she falls to her death.
Yeah.
And
very dramatic.
And that's the end of poor Rhaenys.
Yeah, man. The queen that never was.
Queen that never was.
Yeah.
That's tough, man.
It was.
So
that's where season 4. That's where episode 4 ends.
Not really. No.
It ends with
Kristen Cole wakes up after being knocked out during the battle.
Oh fuck, my king! And he runs over there, and then that's
there's an important thing that happens.
He doesn't just stop and find him. He unseats his sword.
Yeah, Aemon. Yeah, so that's what I was going to get at, because Aemon finds him first.
That's true.
And doesn't know that Cole is there, and he's got his sword out. So it gives the implication that he was there to make sure that Aegon was dead.
Yep.
And then when Cole came, then he puts his sword away and everything like that. And then they find his body, which I'm not sure if he's alive or.
You don't know yet.
I know.
Did you watch the trailer for the next episode?
No, I've read the book. I've told you that.
Okay.
I've read.
Let's stop right there.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was episode 4. There was something that we brushed over. Alicent looks like she's pregnant.
Oh yes.
Oh, that's right.
But I think she's getting an abortion.
She
takes the moon tea,
abortion drink.
which she gave so much shit to Rhaenyra for.
Yeah.
Like back in the day, and now she's doing it herself. Yeah.
She's like rubbing the hot stones on her belly.
Yeah.
And then she gets her what do you call them? The ones that make the potions and make the
Maester.
Her Grand Maester comes in.
And she has that moment where she asks him, "Hey, do you really think that Viserys would have
you know my dad. You know my husband. What do you,
she's like, I can't pretend to know what he would have done.
Which, in a way, is kind of the answer.
Yeah.
Because
Is it all?
You already, if he's denying or if he's trying to deflect the question, then most likely then it's true. Yeah.
All right.
So I feel like she's fucking already starting to believe. I think she already knows.
She knows.
She
knew in
to
that
know.
moment. Yeah.
That's why she was trying to look up all the history books, and fucking Aegon had already gotten rid of all of them.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
She was like, "Where'd you do all your dad's books?" And he was like, "Fucking, I got rid of them. I don't need them."
She's like,
she's
fucking
looking
countless
into it.
history, you fucking fool. And that was another thing, too, their conversation.
Yeah.
When he's like, what am I supposed to do? Nothing.
Nothing.
Just shut us.
Yes.
Just shut up and let us handle it.
If you're sitting watching this frustrated that we didn't go over X, Y, or Z, guaranteed we are aware of that. And the reason why is because this entire series, if we went over every X, Y, and Z, it would be a fucking 25-hour episode.
Yeah, there's a lot.
There's just too much. You have to watch every episode. You have to unpack everything.
And we just recapped this based on memes that I found on TV Time.
This is true.
Yes, and again, if you're interested, please subscribe to TV
It's
Time and
honestly
make
a really
sure
great app.
to put
the only way
promo
to
code
track
Triple
my
M
shows.
or Gang Gang.
Gang 7432.
If you put Gang
It's a
Gang
free app, guys.
Yeah.
What?
So we
What?
get nothing?
Why are we paying
money
them to fucking advertise?
does that
on
mean for us at the end
Yeah,
of the
what
day?
does that mean for us? How are we making money out of this
We can be
sponsorship?
friends.
God damn it.
Damn it.
You have your user
All right.
profile.
Subscribe if you want, but
Yeah.
definitely subscribe to us.
Yes, yes.
We're going to be coming
There's no
back.
subscribing. You just follow each other like friends.
What?
Oh,
That's just wild.
interesting.
We're going to be coming back to recap the second half of this
Yes.
show.
Yes.
So
Keep
if you
your
feel
eyes
like if you feel like
peeled.
I want more, come back. Come back when we
We'll
do
be
the
there.
second half of this.
We'll be there.
And in the meantime, you can watch any other episodes we have. Either Acolyte, that's a good one.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I really enjoying the comments, by the way.
Yeah, definitely
thank you.
join us. Watch any episode you can. Comment.
What do you guys think about House of the Dragon so far, season 2?
Are you
It's
upset that they
fucking great.
haven't shown a dragon house? Because I've been...
They're dragon
Since the
layers, my
beginning.
boy. They're
No.
dragon layers.
I'm
The
sorry.
caves.
It's called House of the Dragon. I have been waiting
That's
to
in reference
see
to House Targaryen.
a house for
Of the
dragons.
dragons.
So it hasn't come up yet, but let us know. Comment, like, dislike, all of the above.
Yes, I'm excited for the rest of the
Yeah,
season.
it's been
I
amazing
can't wait for
so
it.
far. Yeah.
Yeah, it's House of Dragons. It's really good.
Really
It
well written,
reminds me
really
of
well
how I
performed.
felt about Game of Thrones when it
Yes.
first started.
Seasons 1 through 7.
It is the only show I watch when it comes out. Like
Oh,
every Sunday
Damn.
night. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's high note. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Absolutely, man.
Have a good one, everybody. Please like and subscribe, all that good stuff.
Dick
Comment,
Harris.
everything like that, everything we just said. And as always,
Have a dark night.
Dark Knight.
Yeah.
Bobby Wieners.